Right now I'm going to talk about, let's see, well, what am I going to call her? I know. I'm going to call her Sweet Nancy. Or maybe I'll call her the baby. Yeah. Or maybe I'll call her Fancy Miss Nancy. Oh, yeah. Or maybe I'll just call her the girl with the honey-coated voice. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about Nancy Sue Wilson. Let's drop that Sue and go with Nancy Wilson. Yeah. Born in 1937 in Chillicothe, Ohio. Now you're going, what? Yeah, it's just about 20 miles south of Columbus, kind of southwest of Columbus, right on a beautiful little river. And as you can tell, it's a Native American name, so it was an area that was very, very influenced by Native Americans in its ancestry. And even to this very day, there's a big Native American festival held every year of song and dance, etc. That is where she was born. Father was a foundry worker. Mom just kind of worked, but Mom could sing. And Mom sang in the church choir. And of course, she took little Nancy with her. And of course, little Nancy, she had to start singing too. And they say about 4 or 5 years of age, everybody figured out little Nancy had a real voice. And little Nancy started getting all kind of accolades from the old folks at church. Oh, go little baby, and that kind of thing. Oh, sweet Nancy. And next thing you know, little Nancy decides, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to be an entertainer. I am going to be a singer. And she made that her mission in life. Somewhere around 15, she ended up in West High School in Columbus. There are probably a lot of reasons for that. I do know that there was segregation in a lot of places, and there may not have been a secondary school for her in the town where she grew up. That's just my guess. And, you know, this is 15. By 17, she's out doing gigs, local gigs. And finally, 17, she ends up in college at what they call Central State University. We used to call it Wilberforce because it is in Wilberforce, Ohio. Now, Wilberforce is a very, very important college for us African Americans all over this country, but particularly in Ohio. Nancy is winning all kind of contests as she had been doing since she was a young kid. And so she figured out that maybe college wasn't for her. She needed to go ahead and be about the business of finding her way into the entertainment industry. And so she left college and started doing gigs around Ohio with local bands and had a great little following, is making a little bit of money, and things are going all well for a local girl made good. And then the big cannonball comes rolling in, baby. I'm talking about Julian Cannonball Adderley and his quintet. They come rolling through town, and they happen to stop by this club where Nancy was doing her thing one night, and Cannonball goes, whoa. We talking about the total package here. The girl looked good. I mean, she gorgeous. Wow. And she can sing too. Come here, little girl. You need to get out of Ohio. You need to go to New York City. I used to be in Florida. Band wreck, I thought I had it made. But I went to New York, and next thing I know, I'm playing with Miles Davis, and I think you could have a similar kind of career. Come on, New York girl. She took that advice from her friend and mentor, Cannonball Adderley. And within a few months, she moved to New York. And she's doing gigs here and doing gigs there and doing things with big bands and doing things with combos. And she had a wide range of stuff, you see. She could do pop, she could do R&B, she could do blues, and she could do jazz. So she was almost beyond category. People called her all kinds of things: blues singer, jazz singer, pop singer, R&B singer. She preferred to be called a song stylist, because whenever she touched a song, it became hers. Like one of her first big hits, one that just knocked me right off my feet, was called "Guess Who I Saw Today." Because the other thing about Nancy Wilson is not only could she sing, but she could tell a story. You see, she would make those lyrics jump off that page right into your mind and heart. You would be sitting there seeing this story unfold. And this particular song, "Guess Who I Saw Today," is about a woman who goes out for a lunch and sees her husband having lunch with another woman. And she describes the scene and how they react to each other, this lovely couple in love, and blah, 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 blah. And the poor dumb husband, he don't even realize that she's talking about him. Until she says, "Guess who I saw today, baby? I saw you." Ooh, Nancy, sweet, but cut like a razor. Yes, sir, buddy. I heard that song and went, "Ooh, girl, I can't believe you sung that so sweet," and then slapped that boy so hard. But that was her way. She could communicate, and in many, 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 many different arenas. And this served her well, because her career, although it started in the mid-50s, it went into the 60s and the 70s with more success and more success and more success. And not just on stage, also on TV. Everything from the Ed Sullivan Show to Muppet shows to her own show for 2 years to Sammy Davis's show, and you name it, she was there. TV series, FBI, all kinds of things. If it was happening, Nancy was there. Even played in a couple of movies and played herself. Jazz singer in a club, that's her. Oh yeah. She won an Emmy Award for her acting. Yeah, she was a total package. We talk about this girl, Nancy. Somewhere near the 80s, she started doing a whole lot of recording in Japan. And the reason was she preferred to keep it real. She didn't like that whole Memorex thing. She wanted it real. So her choice was to do live recordings. American companies were not into live recording. Oh, it's the technology. You got to block out the sound from the audience and all that extraneous noise. Oh, it's just too difficult. Remote equipment. Oh, no. So she said, okay. So for 5 years, she did most of her recordings in Japan, because the Japanese had technology and they did not mind going all the way to the wall for Sweet Nancy with that honey-coated voice. And those are some of the most exciting albums she ever did. Oh yeah. She had R&B hits. She had 3 Grammys, 2 for jazz, 1 for R&B. Yeah, she did it all. But then there was another Nancy that really got to me, and that is her commitment to her people in the form of her civil rights activism. Every major civil rights organization awarded her any ACP Lifetime Achievement Award, the Urban League, even the Martin Luther King Nonviolence Institute in Atlanta, which she said gave her the most outstanding ceremony of her life. They all gave her multiple awards. When she started her foundation, it was to take poor inner city kids and take them to places around the country that they would never get a chance to see, just to broaden their horizons and to give them bigger dreams, to empower them to dream bigger. Nancy was committed to uplifting her people. Her first marriage had one son, lasted 10 years, it was over. The second marriage was to a Pentecostal preacher. Now, some of y'all know what Pentecostal is. This is very strict. And she was committed to her husband and his work, committed to her religion, the beliefs, the doctrine. And so at that time, she stopped performing in what we will call supper clubs because she did not want to be around the debauchery and alcohol, being the wife of a Pentecostal preacher. So then she turned to festivals. And of course, she is Nancy Wilson. She can do any festival she wants to do. And she did them all. And she did big concerts, both indoors and outdoors. Because at this point in her life, being a TV star and a movie star and Grammys everywhere and awards everywhere, she didn't have to perform on the chicken circuit anymore. And she carried that as her manner of performance right until she stopped performing. 5 decades, 50 years, she performed all over the world. International Conference of Mayors gave her an award as the true international artist of her lifetime. She was respected by everybody because she was just a fine human being with an incredible talent and a very large heart. Her second husband, the Right Reverend, died as a result of renal cancer, and shortly thereafter, she passed away at the age of 81 in California as well. But talking about a life well lived, Nancy. I did have one disappointment in doing this research, and that was as I went and did some research on her hometown, Chillicothe, Ohio, I discovered that she is not listed as one of the notable citizens of that town. They got football coaches in there and minor actors and that, but you got Nancy Wilson and she is not listed. I thought that was such a slight, and it hurt me, and I hope that they will correct that. But I do know that there is a street in that town that is named after Nancy Wilson. So they went part of the way. Maybe they'll go all the way and realize that she may be the most notable citizen from their little hamlet on the river with this annual Native American Arts Festival. Nancy Sue Wilson, the baby, sweet Nancy, fancy Miss Nancy, the girl with the honey-covered voice. Thank you for blessing us with your visit to our reality and leaving 50 or 60 great albums for us to enjoy forever. And that's my story about Nancy Sue Wilson, and I am sticking to it. Thank you very much.